Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first ever episode of Essential Life Skills for Teens. I am your co-host, Amanda Bell, and this is your host, Micheale Pless.
Hi, everybody. We are so excited to be able to bring this to you guys. We have actually had Life Skills for Teens up and running in the DFW Metroplex now since October of 2023 with our first event happening, October of 2022.
Yes.
With our first event actually taking place very quickly in January of 2023.
Yes, and it was a hit, man. That very first ever event, you guys ended up, I think we had like 106 or something sign up, and then I think it was like 57 actually attended, which we didn't know what to expect. I don't know if you've ever hosted anything, an event, a birthday party, a graduation, a wedding even, but like getting people to sign up and then getting them to show up. Two very different tasks. Yes. Yeah. So we didn't really know what to expect, but
so what was it that we did? What is Life Skills for Teens?
Ooh, I love that question. Yeah. And we get asked that question all the time. So the way that I like to explain Life Skills for Teens, because it is a lot of moving parts, but essentially Life Skills for Teens is a nonprofit organization that are boots on the ground to find local communities to support the teenagers in essential life skills, tools and resources that they'll use and need and find resourceful throughout their adulthood. So we like to say, as soon as you're leaving guardianship and becoming your head of household, there's things that we all got sent off into the real world not knowing. And these are
scary.
So scary.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what credit was. And I'm over there running amok on a credit, you know?
She left an apartment complex without, somebody even said, "You're not concerned about your credit?" She was like, "No, what's that? I don't care."
What is that?
Well, a few years later, she did in fact care. It was too late.
A lot. I cared so much. Yeah. And that's where all of this kind of transpired. But now we get to teach our local communities and beyond about credit. What is credit and how to build credit without any credit? We like to teach them about kitchen and home safety. I don't know about you guys, but I lit my kitchen on fire multiple times and nobody was home.
She's not the cook.
No, yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Full disclosure. We are not trying to pull anything over on anyone. I can do all right with some baking.
We got so the home and kitchen safety, that's a wonderful one. Don't put aluminum foil in the microwave, kids. As much as it's fun to watch it explode, no, it's not. It's not. In fact, it will explode. And they do enjoy learning stuff like that. We've got we partner with our local heroes, the police department and fire department in each city that we actually come out to, and we have them come out and they teach the kids about fire safety and police awareness. Our local hero, Officer Doug Huseman, actually works with kids he used to be in the Eagle Mountain, and he's in Saginaw now, or was.
He was in White Settlement, and now he's in Eagle Mountain, Saginaw ISD.
Yeah, so he's great.
And he works with the high school students. He is so great. Yeah. So he teaches them how to pull over on the side of the highway now that they're driving or becoming of age to drive without their legal guardian in the vehicle with them anymore. What that looks like, it's a little bit scary. It's even as an adult today, I almost immediately get fearful when their lights come on, even if they're not after me.
Do you remember the first time you were pulled over?
Yeah.
I cried.
Oh.
I cried. I couldn't even talk.
I got defensive.
I cried.
And argued.
And then I didn't want to tell my parents because I knew they'd be very angry. This was before phones. So we drove around with no communication other than speaking to our Heavenly Father and hoping for the best.
Yeah. Take the wheel.
Yep.
You guys have heard that Carrie Underwood song. So, and then we also have courses that are around how to land the job. We prepare them to help them interview through the job. It's so wild. We were just talking to a local sponsor here in DFW. We've got a new Texas Roadhouse coming to Hazlet off
287 Avondale. What?
And they always find a local nonprofit to give back to. So we went by there and got to meet Kyle, one of the managers up there, and he was so great. But he
was so great.
He was sharing with us how he said one of the girls started crying and like almost hyperventilating in the
job interview.
In the job interview, she was so scared and intimidated, and it was something she'd never done before. And he had to explain to her how he he's all about the community, which I love, but he explained to her how he's like an uncle, a dad, a mom, a grandfather.
Yeah,
like,
let's just have a conversation.
He did
that's
what he
great.
said.
Yeah,
And we got
he
our
was wonderful.
bottle of water. I was like,
I love
Kyle,
him so much.
you are my boy, Blue.
Boy, Blue.
It
was great.
It was
Yeah.
so
And
great.
it's stuff like that we just need, we want these kids to be prepared for. We do teach them some of these life skills. We do mock interviews with them. Try to teach them also the positivity of just positive self-thinking also.
Yeah.
You're going to go into that job interview thinking you crushed it versus being nervous and stuff. That it's a mindset that's going to help in life as well. And I truly believe that to this day. I talk about that almost everywhere I go.
That's absolutely correct. Every single one of these courses, you guys, is something, it's a tool that our children, Micheale and I like to call it our future. Our children are our future. It's actually our motto at Life Skills for Teens, is the future
The future of our world starts with our youth.
The future of our world starts with our
kids,
youth.
they're growing up. Some of these kids, the way they're growing up, everyone's focused on games and no social cues, and nobody wants to talk to anybody anymore. And where's that leading?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
It is a little scary, but that's what we're going to help
Yeah.
with on this podcast. Hopefully, at least bring awareness to it, get some energy flowing near it, and some great energy at that. But every single one of these courses is a tool that they're going to have in their tool belt for life, in their toolbox for life. It's something that they're going to get to keep with them and use for life. Credit, how to buy a home, how to change your tire on the back road with no cell phone service and AAA can't come for 4 hours, right? So it's just, it's real life experience, CPR, health and wellness. So just things that, we joke around because the first time I ever got the flu, I was a grown adult with children myself. And I took my son's Tamiflu, and I assumed that because I was significantly larger than my 7-year-old son, I needed a higher dosage.
She was wrong. Don't do that.
Don't do that. You know what I mean? But we teach them those things that they'll have in their pocket for life. None of your children will overdose on Tamiflu, not on our watch.
And a lot of these classes, it's not just stuff that we're kind of pulling out of our back pocket. Each one of our coaches specialize. So Kenneth Smith Jr. he teaches our credit. He has an actual business of his own that he does that teaches credit. I am also an ICU nurse, so I kind of have to do with the CPR and the basic of basic first aid and such. Amanda's one of the top realtors in this area, so she actually is starting to kind of teach them the importance of thinking about realty when you're young, that financial and savings side of that as well. We've got HR entrepreneurs that teach the banking and money management. Our etiquette class is taught by a gentleman who is just a strong, good-looking dude who just brings the energy to teach these kids, the right and wrong, how to tie a tie, also, to prepare for a job interview. So we really do also focus on trying to make sure that each one of these coaches is appropriate for what we're trying to bring forth to the communities.
Yes. Yeah. And what a blessing it is to have all of these volunteers. They're all very passionate about the community, about the teens. I've seen Tony Martin, our etiquettes director, literally give the teens all of the ties that he brought to the event so that they could go home and have their first ever tie. That was most of their first ever ties. And it's those small pieces in life, those small get-togethers, the pieces of the puzzle for our community that really make us feel whole at the end. And so we're very excited for all of the things that Life Skills for Teens has today with all of your help. We're always looking for more sponsors, and that doesn't always mean the funds to sponsor the event. Micheale and I are okay to keep hustling and bustling for that. We enjoy it. But sometimes it's a simple like or a share, or if this podcast reminded you of somebody specific or you thought somebody might enjoy it, just sending it their way.
Yeah. Let everybody know that we're here. What is one thing, I feel like I know the answer to this question, but when you were younger, what do you think is one thing you wish you would have known that would have helped you actually be a little bit more successful or whatnot for the future?
That's such a good question. For me, it is the credit piece and how to leverage that. Yeah, because I had such a downfall with it. Like
so hard.
Yeah,
once it's down and you don't know that you're supposed to be working, it is hard.
Yes.
And they don't make it easy to rebuild it.
No, yeah. So that was the piece that probably took me the longest and to really grasp and understand, and then how to climb out of it. So it's like so easy to get dug into that situation when you're not aware of it. It's incredible. You can do it like that, right? One missed payment, credit tanked, right? So, but how many positive payments do you truly need to get out of that and even start to build your way up? Over 12 months. So in 1 month you can tank it, and over 12 to 18 months in that time frame does it take you to climb out of it, and that's just
Trying really
starting
hard.
the climb. That's
Yeah.
still not getting you approved for anything. So it's a lot of work. I truly wish I would have known that early on. Now I gotta ask you the same thing, and I also think I know it.
Okay, so actually, I think mine when I was little, and this is another piece of this puzzle, is our differences in growing up. I had a lot of street smarts because I was real poor. So, you know, I probably would have done better with some better knowledge of proper police interactions, and how to actually handle those situations. The positivity, I think the mindset, the etiquette, all of that stuff would have probably gotten me a lot quicker in life to where I wanted to be, which I luckily have gotten there finally.
Yeah. I was trying to think, because that is such a good one,
Mhm.
and I was trying to think if we asked Chris Bell, my husband, if we asked Chris Bell which one his would have been earlier on. For some reason, I like saw a moment in history that I wasn't even there for, but he was sharing with me his best friend growing up. His best friend's little brother was in the kitchen cooking, and it was with grease, and he went to go put
Fire out.
the meat in the grease, and it was frozen.
Oh,
And
yes.
today his entire right arm and hand is so smothered and burned and all the way up. And I can just see Chris saying, "Man, if I would have," because Chris didn't know that either. But if he would have, he could have easily said, "Make sure you thought that."
Yeah, and we actually get a lot of adults that tell us some of this stuff that they don't know. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to cooking, when it comes credit especially. Credit is the big one that we always have adults that would like
Yeah.
to really sit in and see what they can, and they all learn something. Everybody learns something. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
very grateful for that.
And like the real estate course, we just had a kid reach out. He got referred over from his grandmother. The Bell Realty Group helped his grandmother like 4 years ago buy and sell her home. And he saw she took off to Puerto Rico with her equity. Yeah. And so her grandson just reached out, and he is 18, just graduated, and has a little brother that's going to live with him. And he is pre-approved and looking at homes. He's making offers on homes as we speak.
That's incredible. I love that.
So by the time this goes out, he's likely going to be getting ready to move into his house.
I love that so much.
Isn't that crazy? I do too. We didn't know those things. It was very common to be well into if you were in your 30s, almost 40s, that's when you were maybe about to buy a house.
Yeah.
Maybe about to start your wealth accumulation journey, right? But today it's, if they can get their hands on the information so much sooner, it's very interesting to see
what they do with it.
Evolution.
And some of what we teach, obviously, this we get comments, and by we get comments, I mean my husband, because when we initially started this, we're both very successful in our businesses. We're both already very successful in our side hustles and what we do. This is our passion, and so it just took up more time, which we were willing to give. But our husbands are upset because we're not as home as often as we should be. So
it's okay.
One comment James, my husband, would say was, "Well, why can't they just YouTube it?" And I'm like, "Well, have you ever tried YouTubing something you don't know how to do? It's not that easy."
Mm-mm.
We strive to make sure that these kids also get the opportunity to do hands-on. So some of what we teach, yes, does just kind of help them be more prepared for the future, so that they have the opportunity to be more successful. But some of what we brought into this is for actual life-saving opportunities. The fire department, they come and they teach them what to do in a fire. We have them actually learn CPR, practice CPR on the dummies. As an ICU nurse, we'll get a grandparent in who lived at home with their kids and grandkids, and a grandkid who was home and they had a heart attack, and that kid was either able to start CPR or not. And there's a very big difference in those outcomes in those situations. Being
It is
able
wild.
to change a flat tire, a lot of
So important.
the gender,
Mhm.
girls are like, well, I don't need to know how to change a tire.
Yes,
In
you do.
fact, yes, you do. You
Yes,
of
you
all
do.
people need to know how to change a tire because we ain't relying on no man. Okay. What are you going to do if it's dark? You're in a dark place. Your tire goes flat. Your phone's dead because you don't stay off of it. What are you going to do? You're going to just wait around for a man? No, you're not.
No,
You're going
you're
to change
not.
that tire.
Ain't no scrub.
No. So that's part of why we think it's important also to have this in person, let these kids get hands on, realize what they don't know, because
Yeah.
remember when we were little and someone tells you how to do something, you're like, I can do it. No, you can't. No, no, you can't. And that's okay. Let us help you.
Yeah. One of the things that we kind of struggle with today, we're still navigating through, if you will. We've been out to a few of the boys and girls homes that are local to DFW, and absolutely enjoy it. They're all so great. Every single teenager that we've met personally, we get to meet them personally, and be a part of their journey, which is, in my opinion, one of the best feelings in the world. And I think I speak for all of our volunteers. They're so passionate about it, right? They want to continue to come out 3 years later with never being cut a paycheck and use their time, energy, fuel, and resources if they didn't genuinely enjoy the connection that we get with the teenagers. But we do struggle sometimes with where to find the teenagers or how to get this information out to them, which is why I'm going to bring up one more
Also
time.
why we're here.
Also
Spread the word.
Please
Yes.
don't be the ripple effect that never ends, right? We like to say that a lot around here, but please don't let this information stop with you. Again, if it reminded you of anybody, if you think your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, even if it's not somebody that has a teenager, would enjoy this or even want to support it, a simple like goes such a long way in this digital world that we're in today. So even though we're boots on the ground and we have local areas and eventually want to venture out of the local areas as well, our mission is to get in front of the right people, as many people as possible, so we can at least get this information in front of the right people. So with your help, please, it would go so far. Just hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the follow, and
all the things. This is also a nonprofit. I don't know about you, but I do feel like a lot of nonprofits aren't what I expected. They have to pay their staff. They have to pay for this. They have to pay for that. We're very blessed in the sense that we don't have a building we have to pay for. We don't have overhead, so every single penny that is given to this organization goes back into the organization.
1,000%.
It goes back to the kids. If we get extra funds, then we try to make shirts or get them a better lunch instead of just pizza.
Micheale showed up with these really great hygiene bags for one of the boys' homes, and when I tell you, they lit up like Christmas.
I made sure I got a different one for each kid. They were name brand.
Yeah.
That way they'd enjoy them. So keep us in mind if you're ever out and about and thinking of your friends. You go to a friend's house and they got some teens that show up that ain't got no manners or need help with their new vehicle or got pulled over for the first time and don't know what to do with that ticket. Be like, there's an organization and it's local and free.
Life
and
skills
they feed
for
you.
teens.
Life skills for teens.
And they feed you breakfast and lunch. And the volunteers, you guys, the information that's being taught to them, I think it's so important to know. And you guys will meet them throughout the episodes. It's not in a monotone, right? It's sometimes our teachers in our education system can sometimes be very monotone. They're going through the same spill for the 8th time today, and
that's keep their attention.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to digest that information, right? So not over here. Every single one of the volunteers is very passionate, and it shows when they're chatting with the teens and presenting the information and their next steps, which we know by nature and science that when it's presented in that manner, you naturally retain so much more of it, especially when you get your hands on it, like Micheale was telling us all earlier.
Fran might be the smartest one by coming in and throwing candy at them.
She's so smart.
That was so good. She came in with a big old bag of candy, and I'm like, why didn't we think of that? She just throws it at them. Give me an answer. I'll give you some candy. They love it.
They do love it.
Keeps them going.
Yes.
And that's what they
on
need.
Their toes.
So So keep us in mind. We do believe, again, that the future of our world starts with our youth. Keep that in mind, spread the word, and we'll have some more podcasts to come for you guys. But do remember, please go online. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Essential Life Skills for Teens, Essential Life Skills, and then Life Skills for Teens. So Life Skills _ for teens, and then we've got our Facebook as well. So follow us, like us, love us, and come back for more.
We'll love yours as well. We'll catch you guys on episode 2.